Good afternoon, this is your captain speaking.
All right, thank you, Suzanne, for coming on for another episode of Tuesday's Tips. Today, we're going to talk about an ever increasingly popular living situation, and that's co-living with family members. More specifically, I'm seeing a lot, and we're seeing a lot of trending where mom and dad, or just mom or just dad, are selling their house and they're looking for a new house together with an in-law or the possibility for an in-law. So you generally have maybe a larger deposit, or you have more people that maybe could be on the mortgage. I don't know. That's not what I do. What can you tell me about these people, what they're looking to do and purchase? What advice do you have for them, the good, the bad, and the ugly from the mortgage standpoint, Suzanne?
Yeah, I'll start with the ugly. If you're going to live with a family member, you definitely want to have a conversation of boundaries. Sometimes, maybe if someone is an early riser or a night owl, that might affect people. And that's why a lot of times it's best to just lay everything out on the table of what the expectations are. The other thing is, if you can find something that has an in-law, you've got that separation. You've got the separation where mom and dad, or just mom or just dad, are in their own spot. And, having those conversations, I think are important. The other thing is having a conversation with a lender on the plan and the goals. So if you're selling two properties, can you make yourselves more attractive? And I'll explain. It's still a very competitive market. Can you get approved without needing to sell one and or both of the houses? And how does that look? How do those payments look? Are those payments affordable for all of you? Many lenders or servicers will allow what's known as a recast. What a recast means is, if you buy the home prior to selling one or two of the properties, and let's say you come into a couple of $100,000, you could reduce the mortgage balance by whatever you decide that you want to do as a principal reduction and recast the loan. Many servicers will charge a nominal fee, might be a couple $100, and you're re-amortizing the same loan at the same terms for a lower payment. So that's one of the strategies that's often utilized, is taking advantage of the recast. So
I love that. So you can see my jaw dropped a little bit. My wife and I, we bought our first house in 2002. And, ever since then, with different housing situations, I always wondered, I'm like, when you got a big chunk of change and you want to put it on your mortgage, and I always thought, man, why couldn't we just have our payments recast, as you just mentioned, and recalculated? And I didn't realize that that was a thing. And that, you could get that done, Suzanne. So that's really neat. And just to clarify, does it recast the term of the loan or just the payment within that term based on the new principal balance?
Payment within that term. So if you start at a 30-year and you're 8 months into it, so you got 28 years and 4 months left over. Sorry about my bad math on that.
No, it's okay. 29 years.
Correct. Thank you. 29 years. Wow, I'm gonna make your guy work a lot on the editing.
Full disclosure, everyone, right now, we're filming this, Monday morning, the day after the clocks sprung ahead. So Suzanne and I talked right before we shot this, and I told her, Suzanne, I'm blank today. I feel like I'm jet lagged, and Suzanne said the same thing. So bear with us, folks. It's early in the morning. We're not that caffeinated yet. We love you guys. We can't stop, won't stop.
Exactly. So anyway, so the remaining balance is it's amortized on the remaining balance, and it's up to the servicer. So whoever you have you're financing with, you reach out to customer service. It's done with almost all servicers. again, have to have the disclaimer that it's up to the servicer if that can or can't be done. But it's often an underutilized strategy that people can do in situations like this.
Yeah, I think that's really a really great thing, and I love the example you gave. All right, maybe we sell one house, we have a huge down payment. We don't need to sell the other one to qualify to purchase this house, but they want to put that money down in the house to further reduce. So it allows the timing thing, right? Everything's timing right now. Even though interest rates are up, the market has slowed. There are certain properties that are just desirable that are tough to get into. So that really helps someone not feel like they need to sell both properties to get that payment to where they need it to be. They have a little time. So that's awesome.
True. And you can have all four people on the mortgage, and on the note, meaning
Mhm.
who's responsible for it. So you can have you and your spouse or significant, and you can have your parents on the loan with you. So you can have all four of you. As families, what's really important too is to discuss the financials. Hey, what's the plan here? Who's going to pay what? What are the expectations on this? Have those conversations. Those conversations will definitely save you a lot of headaches down the line. If ever there's, a job loss or something happens down the line financially, to make certain that that you know what the plan is there.
Absolutely. That was an excellent point. Not only having the boundaries, but also who's going to pay what, when, where, and under what circumstances might that change. It's good to talk about possible scenarios so that expectations are set up front.
Certainly.
Awesome. This is great, Suzanne. I'm so glad that we were able to half caffeinate and get on and do this today, because this is a really hot and trending topic. And if the economy were to get worse, I don't know what's going to happen, but it could increase the demand for the co-living situation. And we just want people to know that, it's possible. You can do it. Suzanne has done it a zillion times. She can help you with that as far as setting up the whole financing picture. And she's already given you some great examples how you can kind of do it almost in stages, even after you purchase it, to get that mortgage balance and payment where you want it to be. And then reach out to me or your favorite agent, and our teams would be happy to help you get you into that perfect situation where everyone's happy, has their own space, and hopefully life is a little bit easier for everyone.
Definitely. Thank you, Jeremy.
All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tuesday's Tips. I'm Jeremy Bailey, your flying realtor. Remember to keep your wings level, and I gotta fly.